everyone, today I'm gonna review City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I received an arc of this through Edelweiss in exchange for an honest review, and this book is released on August 28. City of Ghosts is a middle grade paranormal horror, and our protagonist is Cassidy, who can see ghosts. And she has this ghost friend Jacob, and everything about this has kind of become totally normal for her. Then she travels to Edinburgh together with Jacob and her parents, and that city is just full of ghosts, so wherever she turns, she can basically always feel the presence of a ghost. In Edinburgh, she also meets a girl who has the same ability as her, and thanks to her she also learns a little bit more about that ability and if there's maybe a greater purpose to it. And then there's also this woman who is a really powerful ghost and is basically constant trouble for Cass. So I don't read or review a lot of middle grade. I really only picked this book up because it's by Victoria Schwab, who is my favorite author, and so I was incredibly excited to see what she would do with the middle grade genre. And I really love this. I think this is, while definitely a very creepy horror story, still cute and adorable in a lot of ways, and I just think this had a lot of really wonderful elements to it. The atmosphere and the setting was probably my favorite thing. You can really tell how much Victoria Schwab loves Edinburgh and how much she was craving to write a story set in this city. I think you can feel that love pouring out of the book at every page, and so that made the setting super wonderful, but also in general the whole thing was so well done and also so well explained that I just really think the atmosphere came across so very well. And I'm not one to be very creeped out by books, and it is definitely still a middle grade horror, so it's not like super scary, but it definitely has this atmosphere about it that's not only really cool, but that's also definitely really creepy. Cass, our main character, is also really wonderful, and I loved reading from her perspective. I really like the relationship to her parents. Her parents are actually like ghost hunters, basically, and they go to Edinburgh to film a TV show there, and it's really funny to kind of see this difference between Cass being an actual person who can see ghosts and then her parents being so fascinated by all of that. And also what I think was really well done was that whole TV show aspect, and that, you know, her parents were kind of obsessed with the idea of ghosts. That was handled very well. I feel like, you know, it could have been done in a ridiculous way, but it wasn't. It was done in a way where her parents always came across as people who were not like crazy for believing in ghosts, but just like being very respectful about that topic, and I really liked that. And in general, I thought that Cass had a wonderful relationship to her parents. I really liked that we had her mom, who was definitely very much always on her side and always believing her when she talked about her ghost friend, and then we have her dad, who is not really into that, so we kind of had these both sides, but overall it was just a really loving relationship, and I really liked seeing that. And then obviously the friendship between Cass and Jacob was just so great. I just think that Victoria Schwab has an amazing way of writing friendships. I mean, in general, human relationships, I think she really excels at, but this was just another example for how great her friendships can be. I like how you can tell how much these two people mean to each other without them ever actually saying it. I think that's one of the things that always stands out to me in relationships that Victoria Schwab writes. Like, nobody ever has to actually say anything, but as a reader, you can just feel it and you know how much they care, and I just love that, and that was definitely 100% the case for Jacob and Cass as well. I also loved the other girl that we got introduced to that can also see ghosts. She's like super badass. She totally could have been like imported from like Vicious or something. Like, she is so cool, and I love the relationship that she had with Cass as well, although I really hope we get to see a much bigger development for these two in the sequel. I just really felt that reading this, you could just tell that this is a Victoria Schwab book. The atmosphere, the characters, the writing, the setting and the world building, everything just felt so much like Victoria Schwab, and it was so great to see all of these things being present even in the middle grade. So if you're a Victoria Schwab fan and you weren't quite sure if you wanted to read this, obviously be aware that it is middle grade. There are just a couple of things you have to expect from a middle grade in comparison to a YA or an adult book. But as far as just the general story, it's just a really wonderful Victoria Schwab book. It's just that the themes are a little bit different. So yeah, overall, definitely a huge recommendation from me. For people who generally read middle grade, I think it's gonna be a good book, but also for people who are maybe Victoria Schwab fans or who like the synopsis of this but weren't sure if they wanted to go into a middle grade book. It's adorable and cute, but also really creepy at the same time, and it just has all of the elements that you want from a good book. Also, I just want to put one thing out there, and I know a couple of people are gonna frown upon this, but I just want to put it out there in case anything ever happens. I'm getting super huge queer vibes from Cass. Now, I know this is middle grade, but that doesn't mean that, you know, the character doesn't have any kind of feelings yet about other people, and I personally am just getting queer vibes. Might never come up as a topic, but if it does, I just want to be able to go back to this video and be like, I told ya. So yeah, here it is. Anyway, if you've already read City of Ghosts, then please let me know what you thought of it, and otherwise I want to hear all of your excitement about it. And thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!